Gravy, baby.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to motherfucking Gravy, baby. I'm back, bitches. I missed you guys. There was a lot of chatter with the folks that it went into the biscuit while I was gone, as per usual. So I'm glad nothing was out of order here. I mean, if y'all would have been positive or uplifting while I was gone, I feel like that would have been more of a red flag. I would have been like,
we were
something's
very uplifting.
Going. Oh yeah.
I don't know what lens people were viewing our output through. Are we recording? I had that music way up. I don't know what you said.
Yeah, we're recording.
Oh, cool. I'm sorry, everyone, if you couldn't hear Carmen at first. I was blasted music, but I did that on purpose, but I didn't know we were recording.
Well, anyways, hi.
We had a great time.
Good. Yeah, I bet you did.
We didn't get negative. We got real dark once. How long has it been since all three of us have been together? Was there one in the middle, or has it been like 3 or 4 weeks?
I can't tell. I know it was at least 2. I was gone for 2.
I think me and you did one solo before that, Carmen.
Yeah. So it's a reunion, baby.
Oh yeah. Awesome. So tell us all about it. Tell us everything. Yeah, let's just start with
the blackout or which part?
From the very beginning, from the getting on a plane. Is that how long is the plane? Was that the first day y'all were with? How did that go? Let us know it all. How long was the plane? Were there any fun people around?
I can't tell if you're being condescending or not. I don't have to talk about it at all.
Serious.
Oh, okay.
I know he's dead serious, but he meant how long was the plane ride, but he said how long was the plane, and that has tickled me.
I gotta how big was the plane though?
247 hands.
Well, here's first thing you guys could laugh at me about is I booked this flight September of last year because it was cheap, right? So that was the reason this trip was happening, is because I found a cheap flight. And then this whole time I've been saying the date but never thinking about the day. So then the week leading up to it, I was like, oh, I can't wait. We're leaving Friday. We're going to Spain Friday. Fuck y'all, Friday. And then my fucking ADHD ass didn't look at the tickets until the night before, Thursday night, and the flight didn't actually leave until Saturday. So I had a whole
Could have went way worse. This story could have been so much worse.
I know. Thank God it was the day before and not the day after. I would have been so fucked.
Or like you look at your plane ticket and it's like, yeah, it's Friday, but it leaves at 3 a.m. and it's fucking 12.
Exactly.
Like,
fuck, we gotta go now.
Yeah.
But man, if anybody ever goes to Spain that's listening, fly fucking Iberia, dude. They treated us like goddamn kings. They fed us like 3 meals. At one point, I was like, how can I eat anymore? There was like a tapas thing. So you got like a meal, and then they had snacks, and then there was tapas, and then there was and then they gave you a little sandwich at the end. Like an hour before we landed, they were like, here's some fucking Iberico ham on bread. It was just, they gave us a ham and cheese sandwich. It was so sick, dude. It was fucking sick.
Yeah, dude. So how long is the flight?
It was 11 hours, 11 and change. Yeah, it's a long time.
Did you go direct from LA?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Direct.
Oh, that'd be way closer for me. I'll be doing it in 8. Hell yeah, dude.
So an 11-hour flight, I highly recommend going direct, because especially when we went there, it was overnight. So we just drugged up and took naps and napped a lot. Tried to sleep the whole time, because it's plane sleep and it's not good sleep, but at least you could get, you got the one eye open, because I didn't want to miss out on the snacks. God damn it. They kept coming around with the snacks. And here's the thing is, they had Coca-Cola on there, and all of their products are from Spain. They don't use any American products on the Iberian flights. So every you know how we call Mexican Cokes here, which is just the Coke with soda with cane sugar. Yeah, with cane sugar instead of high fructose corn syrup. It turns out that's the soda, that's the Coca-Cola everywhere except here. So we got to stop calling it Mexican. It's just Cokes and then American Coke, because the American one is the only one that doesn't use actual sugar in it. So, man, Bobby drank so many goddamn Coca-Colas while we were there, because every Coke was a good Coke.
Nice. Do they have Coke Zero?
Yeah, they got Coke Zero.
Interesting. I would have thought the chemicals would have been outlawed. I was very curious about that.
Yeah, I think it's not aspartame. I think it's like it's the one, I think it's like
stevia.
It's either stevia or erythritol, the one that's made from.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
You shut your whore mouth right fucking now. Are you fucking with me?
I might be. I don't remember all of it, but I remember reading all.
Oh, I'm going to make... My friends are going to Spain in like 3 weeks. I'm going to make them mail me some Coke Zero.
I will say they did taste better.
From Spain.
Because I don't even like... I don't really like Coke Zero, because I don't like how those things usually leave an aftertaste. But the one... I mean, I took a sip of Bobby. Bobby got a Coke Zero, and I like enjoyed it for the first time ever. So that was the flight there. Who I hung with was mainly my family. I got there's a couple that I've known my whole life. I mean, this is the whole reason for the trip, is I wanted Bobby to meet some of my favorite people in my family, which, you know, they're the ones that don't live here.
Right.
So, and we went there, and then we immediately went on a road trip. So we were there for like one day.
Did they pick you up? Or did you have to hail a cab or an Uber or something?
No, they picked me up.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can do those things if you're curious. I did take
No. I just
cab
wonder,
slash car.
Like, if you got a cab, like, were you at any point worried about being abducted or anything like that? Because I hear, like, could y'all have gotten human trafficked? Where were you on the human traffic? But that's another story.
Dude, I'm like a 40-year-old broad. Who the fuck is trafficking me, dog?
Where were you?
A 40-year-old American fat chick. Ain't nobody I am the least worried traveler that exists. I ain't being trafficked, homie.
All right. You never know. You might get into a car with a guy with like a Spanish guy. By the way, is it Spanish or Spaniard? Is Spaniard weird? Is that you are a Spaniard or you are Spanish?
It's both.
Oh, okay.
They're still like, they still say like black and stuff. Like there's not like there's no Latinx in Spain that I've noticed. But, so they're still because it's just as a language thing, not as an acceptance thing. What's cool about Spain?
Circumcision? Oh, sorry.
Not as much. No, not as much cut dick. You know, so I mean, it's Catholics.
Cut dick.
Yeah, not a lot of cut dick going on in there in Spain. Not that I was perusing. I was there with my beloved, so I wasn't
Peruvian.
Yeah.
But it so we immediately went on a road trip, and for the first time, and all of the times I've been there, which has been 6. This was the first time I found a piece of Spain that I did not like. And it was because it felt exactly like Los Angeles. There's a small coastal town called Marbella, if you want to say it with the American accent, Marbella. And it's this tiny little coastal town. And all it is if you gutted Rodeo Drive and placed it on oceanfront property, just a lot of fucking Euro trash, moonlighting as millionaires, a lot of rental yachts. I mean, it was fucking gross. You know, like 12, like everywhere else in the country, you get a coffee for like €2, but there it's 7. You know what I'm talking about? And a lot of like
for sure.
Dolce & Gabbana bullshit. Like it was just trash. It was real trash. I didn't like it.
Did you have to switch your money out before, or did you do that after when you show up?
I switched it when I was there, which actually I don't know if that's good considering we were doing bad. I think you're supposed to do it. I mean, obviously, don't ever do it at the airport because they charge a huge fee. But I think in comparison, because the dollar is not doing well now, it might have been better for me to change it here than there. But usually you're supposed to change your money in the country that you go to. That's usually the best deal.
I don't know how doing it here would have helped the fact that we're doing bad. It's not like you'd get a discount for staying home. They'd still be like, well, these fucking euros are expensive.
Fair enough.
I've always heard the best thing you can do is use your credit card.
Yeah.
Because they'll do it when it's best for them. I don't remember how it worked, but I don't know.
Yes.
Please continue.
But I did mostly use my credit card, obviously, except for the time that the credit cards could not be used because there was a countrywide power outage.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
What day was that? Were we day 2, day 5? Do you
Oh
remember?
no, we were well into the vacay by then. It couldn't have happened at a better time. We were.
You guys were basically locals. You guys were complaining about the politicians not getting anything done about it in Spanish.
Truly, yes.
You were like, this is not what we voted for. I know that's Italian, but it's
what
all
did
that.
it do? Why did it? What did the blackout?
They still don't know. They still don't know. They don't know if it's cyber. They don't know if it's a cyber attack. I mean, unless there's been something that came out since the last time I checked, which I had not. We were left with, we don't know.
Did you see a lot of solar power? Do they do a lot of solar power over there?
I didn't see a lot of solar power. I saw some wind, but not a lot of solar.
Okay.
But
right,
the power, yeah, we're getting into it. But yeah, and it was much like here. There was a lot of propaganda about what was happening and all that stuff, and
wow.
Yeah, because they were also saying that all of Europe was out. Like that was one of because they didn't know. Yeah. So they were just like, oh, it's all of Europe, but it didn't end up being all of Europe. It was all of Spain, all of Portugal, and the southern province of France was where it happened.
Was it scary?
To other people.
Not to you in a different country?
It was such a nice day, and it happened at noon. You know what I'm saying? I'm showing Bobby this 2,000-year-old Roman aqueduct, dog. You couldn't have taken me off of that cloud.
Yeah, dude. For sure.
I mean, great. It was awful.
Like my phone comes on, obviously, but I can't even get on the internet. There's no internet right now.
Yeah, I mean, it was like power went out and then internet went out. And then that was when people were starting to get concerned because all of the travelers, I mean, obviously you couldn't take any trains. So the most chaos was in the city proper, but we were outside of the city. We were in a small town called Segovia. So we were like an hour outside of Madrid. So there was chaos. Is it?
No, it's called Wegovy. Sorry.
Oh, gotcha. So in Madrid, there was a lot of chaos because everything operates on trains. So all of the trains were down. There were people who were stuck in. Shut up, Mark. There were people stuck in the train station for like 2 days, which was pretty awful. Yeah.
Whoa,
yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. It was pretty gnarly. There were people stuck in elevators for 13 hours. Oh, yeah. Tourists. People who were just, yeah, dude. Everything was shut down. There was nothing.
Fuck.
And what do you mean stuck in the train station? Like you couldn't get the train station doors open?
I mean, yeah. Some of them, because they're all automatic. So, I mean, you could pry them open.
Your boy would have broke his way out.
Sure would have. You would have.
But
that's DJ how I get when you start pinning me in.
Yeah.
But then also, there's no place for them to go.
Delay.
There's no place for people to go. I mean, outside.
Out.
Right. I mean, if you were disabled, you were stuck down there. If because the elevators didn't work, there was a lot of people that were just kind of staying there because there was no train that they could take to go somewhere. There was no way for people to get home. They couldn't call an Uber because there was no internet. So there was nothing. It was the first taste test of an apocalyptic situation. And honestly, I couldn't have picked a better country to be in because all that happened is that evening is everybody was just out walking their dogs. Out walking their dogs.
We would have been shooting each other.
Truly. There was none of that. Because that's why I was walking around like, why aren't these people robbing each other or anything?
Looting?
Yeah, how because there wasn't looting. There was no looting. 13 hours, nobody stole a pair of shoes? Are you kidding me? I was like, it was so wild to me. But no, everybody was just like trying to like, when the power came on, everybody celebrated. Like that's how I found out that the power came on, because we were at my cousin's house by then. And then when the light, like, we didn't have anything on. We had all the candles lit and everything, so we didn't have any lights on. So we didn't realize the power came back on until we heard this uproarious loud, and I was like, what the fuck happened?
Wow.
And then I was like, oh shit, the riot finally started. And I go outside, and it's just people celebrating that the lights came back on. I was like, fuck. You guys are so much sweeter than us.
But you are in Madrid now. Are we sure there were no riots?
I was in Madrid later on. Just at noon, we were in that small town, so I could show Bobby the aqueduct and that cute. There's a castle there that is what the Magic Castle for Disney is based off of. So there's and there's a sick cathedral. So it's just, he's an architecture nerd. So I wanted to show him all the cool architecture there. So the worst part for us, I mean, we did eat in a restaurant in the dark with like emergency lights on. But it was this town, what they're known for is they make these cochinitas, which are these like, it's like the equivalent of a suckling pig. So we had a dude chopping up a pig because they cook them in these little caves that are with fire. There's no electricity. So we still got that dope ass pig, man. That's what I'm saying. It was like, I couldn't have picked a better situation to have been in for this.
Damn.
I'm drinking.
I'm going to cook a baby pig later. Name him Diego.
Never, but that's awesome.
It was.
I couldn't either, dude. I struggled to eat regular pig ever since I started watching baby pigs.
It's not a baby pig. It's a small pig. There's a difference. It's a breed of pig.
Oh, okay.
So they're little.
Sure.
They're little ones. Yeah, it's not
okay,
a baby.
we got the dinklage pig. Whatever, Carmen.
Yes. Quite literally. Yes.
No, it was a tiny baby pig.
Yeah, so then
it was succulent.
We came back. I guess the most upsetting part was we couldn't really communicate with each other. So, like, for instance, my cousin Marie Jose, her husband, was at work, and then, like, he works several miles away from where he lives with no train, no bus, or whatever. So, but the buses were still running. So that was the whole thing, is some buses were running, but then there were also mobs of people trying to get on said bus. So it was definitely chaotic in the city proper, but she lives in one of the suburbs of it. So it wasn't as chaotic, but
I'm just not going to work that day.
Right.
Well, that's
yeah. He got off work at noon. He got off work at noon. He was like, I went to the supermarket to see people freak out. He's like, I took a stroll and watched, because that's what happened. Exactly.
100% would have went to my favorite bar. That reminds me of like all those 9/11 stories of like people not knowing, like their parents didn't get home for 2 days.
Yeah.
Or like Katrina, that Sean, oh Jesus Christ, why can't I think of Sean's last name? The Patton, that Sean Patton special about Katrina.
Mm-hmm.
It like took him 4 days to even talk to his mom because she worked at a hospital.
Yep.
So A, the power went down, and B, she wasn't gonna leave.
Yep.
Because she was like having to help. Anyway, wow.
So yeah, wow. I truly was maybe the luckiest person in that situation, because we did we found a bar where their like credit card system was on cellular, and they still had some cellular, so I could use my credit card there, because I didn't bring any cash, because I was like, you know what, fuck it, we don't really need the cash if we're gonna use. So we just kind of like sparingly used the cash we had to get, pay for dinner and get Bobby a Coca-Cola while we sat there and just kind of wondered what the fuck was gonna happen.
Well, and I know you're with your family, but I guess you're now getting to the heart of it for me. Was there not a moment before it came back on where you were like, so when this cash runs out, do I live at this bar now? Where am I going to eat? Or is it just because you were with your family, you weren't even worried about that?
Well, after a few hours, because she was worried that we weren't going to be able to get back home. And I was like, no, I go, all of those things. I go, that parking structure, that bar is going to be up. We're going to be parking for free. I go, that bar at the toll booth, that shit's going to go automatically up. We'll definitely be able to get home. And we did, because she drove there, so we didn't have to take the train. So we drove back just fine. She's got a just like in West Hollywood here, she's got to pay to park her car in a place because it's kind of congested where she lives. And that place, the door was just open. I was like, so we're gonna be able to. So if most of the time I was doing damage control, even though I don't live there, she was freaking out more than I was, and I was like,
Carmen,
everything is gonna be all right. Like, everything is going to be okay.
You were also complaining about the politicians.
Yeah.
That's so you.
And because when he came on, I was like, oh, great. Thank you for telling us you don't fucking know anything. And then trying to pat yourself on the back when you didn't fucking do anything. Well, yeah.
I knew it. I love this. Carmen can shame a man in any language.
That is pretty much the typical politician retort to like, we don't know what's going on. But we're doing
a great job.
We're doing it great.
We are. Yeah.
I want to commend the other politicians who just informed me they don't know what's going on. I've never seen anyone not know what's going on this hard.
Yeah.
And that's why I love this country. And the flag, the red and the white and the blue.
I love that you had to check. I had to remember what it was.
That's from that Martin Lawrence movie where he pretends at the very end to be Federale.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. But for the most part, it was delightful. I definitely enjoyed because I got to see these little, like, there's this town called Centejil, which is a town that's built into the side of a mountain. So so you go
like
into like when we went to in the restaurant, it's just rock. It's just rock, and they got a stove there, and it's very cool, even though it was hot outside, because we're inside a mountain. So it's most of the places are mountain, and then you just have these like small facades on the outside of it. So it really just looks like it's sunk in to the mountain, and that was super cool. And
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see any of Holy Week? Do they do a Holy Week all over Spain, or is it just one place?
Every single town gets a day leading up to Easter. So yes. So I definitely saw. I did see the clan, the not clan but clan outfits. I saw there was a lot of that.
Yeah.
Dudes beating themselves with the chains and stuff like
Were
that.
you there when the Pope died?
Yes. And let me tell you, it was way more tragic there than it was here.
Oh, had to have been.
That is a very, like, people were fucking emotional.
Yeah. Huh.
Like, watching the entire funeral service for hours, like, all the interviews of all these people, like, it was just like, I was like, God damn. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. Out of all the popes, probably the best pope. So definitely the saddest. The one that doesn't hate gay people. That doesn't, like.
Was he Spanish?
No.
Argentinian.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
He did some fucked up. Well, you know what? Doesn't matter what you do before the Pope. Doesn't matter what your record is before Popeness.
I don't know.
Like, once you pretty much get absolved of all that, right?
I think literally that's how it works. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's how it works with. I'm not Catholic. I don't know how it works as far as that goes.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not.
But you got to see the self-flagellating people and the fucking. Wow.
Yeah, there was because and they air it. So each town, they because we were in I took Bobby to one of the biggest cathedrals is in Toledo, which is it's probably like 30 or 45 minutes outside of Madrid, and they have one of the biggest cathedrals there. So they still had, when we went there after Easter, they still had the big procession pieces and stuff like that. And each city that does a procession through their town from one point to the church, carrying something, because everybody has to carry it. And then there's all the different people, the people that are the Catholic equivalent of saging as they're going and stuff, like cleansing the path and all that shit, and all the drums and the whole fucking parade. It happens in each town, and then they just air each single one every night, so then everybody gets to watch it. Even
oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, going back to your very excellent What's Gravy,
Mm-hmm.
showing Bobby new things.
Yes.
In that vein, what was Bobby's favorite part? And then what was your favorite part of watching Bobby enjoy it? Did you nail the itinerary? We all want to know.
I think so.
Yes.
So. He was very much in awe. Like, you know, it is a very different looking place. So he was, a lot of time he's just taking pictures of alleyways and lanterns and shit, you know.
Yeah.
Just the texture on the wall. He was just like, this is like,
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this, especially not in
I
person.
love that feeling.
It's
That
so
feeling
good.
rules.
Yeah.
It is. It was so good. It made me, I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely proud of myself.
Awesome.
But I mean, we ate like kings is really, I think there was no, I'm telling you, and for a fraction. Like every time we would eat, my cousin, who is, this was also like something of note to tell you guys, is my cousin Marijosa, her husband is Javier, and he has been a fan of the United States as long as I can remember. Like, he has a picture of Elvis and Marilyn Monroe in his house. Like, he's like American culture, and he is so devastated. Like, I mean, I don't think you guys understand, like, I did a set and I said that somebody seemed like somebody who was being loud and obnoxious. I was like, this guy seems like a guy that would vote for Trump. And the entire audience was like, oh, shit. Like, it was a way meaner insult there than it would have been here because they all hate him so much.
Are they like, I know they're upset because they might die in a war, but are they like heartbroken that, you know, they might not get any new Marvel movies either? Like, what's the vibe there? Are they like, damn, rock and roll's over?
They care more about politics than we do. In like
Sure.
in a very like we read kind of way. So it's not.
They're so stuck up.
I know. They all know. The children know what tariffs are. You know what I'm saying?
That sounds
It's
like some
so-
kind of like harrowing. The children know what to. The children pine for the tariffs.
It was so goddamn embarrassing being there. It really was so embarrassing. Especially because, like I
Interesting.
said,
How was your set?
it was, the first set was really good and the second one was like meh. It was like 10 o'clock on a Saturday, so like one of them was more work, but it was still good. It was still
They
fun.
all just gotten back up from their disco nap.
Yeah. Yes.
Did you guys break any rules or do anything mean or naughty?
Mean or naughty? I don't think so.
You didn't do any graffiti in, or
We did actually. I took Bobby on a graffiti walk. There was a small part of Madrid that was like, because here's the thing. This is a criticism I have. Most of the graffiti in Madrid is trash. Most of it is like Kim with a Z, or like remember you are, and it's never finished, or DGMB. Like, it's all just letters. It's mostly like tags, I guess. It's mostly tags, but nobody's saying anything cool or drawing anything cool, with the exception of this graffiti walk that we went on. I'm just talking about like regular criminal graffiti was pretty trash in comparison to ours. I will say that. But
it makes sense to me that we have better graffiti.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like hip hop and then like punk and then like hobo,
Definitely
everything I
not as
associate
big
with
there.
graffiti, we do better than them anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there it seems like that's like what punk, quote unquote, like what these punk ass kids are doing. And I don't even mean punk in the literal sense, just in the get off my lawn sense. So it's just young kids being young kids. But
Listen, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, but the graffiti walk that we went on was just all this. There was this one particular part of the city where all of these artists just came and spray painted the fuck out of this one part of the city. So you just had to walk around like a 5 or 7 block radius, and there was just random artists everywhere spray painting shit. And right at this time, there was a strike happening where the garbage workers were striking. So there was garbage everywhere in the city proper.
Wow.
And one of the graffiti artists not only spray painted the thing, but spray painted all over the trash that was part and made it part of
Nice.
the art thing. It was pretty, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty cool. It was pretty fucking cool.
Did you get
Yeah.
pics of that?
Oh yeah, of course I did. Of course I
Hell
did.
yeah, dude.
Of course I did. But it was cool for the most part. I mean, and I think Bobby's favorite part, because I kept asking him, I was like, would you like the most? I think he really liked going on the graffiti walk because he was like, I felt like this was like not only culture but like present day culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was like relevant. And then of course when we were in another coastal town down the street from Marbella, the place I don't like, an hour and a half away, there's this place called Malaga, and I took him to the Picasso Museum because that's where Picasso is from.
Yeah.
And you know, that's like his favorite. So that was also pretty sick too. And again, man, we fucking ate so good. Oh yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Is Javier, every time we would eat a meal, he would go, "How much would this be in the United States?" And it would always be like $100 or $200 more.
Oh, so you were giving him LA prices. I get it.
Yeah, for sure.
In my head, I was like, $100 or $200. But
Well,
I've been
'cause-
living in Scott County, dude. All we got's fucking, not Costco. What's the company that supplies all the food in America now?
Oh, which one? Gordon Food Service? That one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was like one night we went
Or
out.
Cisco. That's what I was saying.
Cisco. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, most people there think all we eat is steak and guns. So then, like, that's like the. Is that how you cut your steak, with the gun? So then we went to like Javier was like, "Oh, let's take Bobby out for steak." So we go to this place, order these 2 huge porterhouses, bottles of wine, blah blah blah, and the meal was like $250 for 6 of us. And I was like, "This would have been easily $550."
That's crazy.
It was
That's
so
crazy.
much cheaper, and it was good. It was quality. You know what I'm
I'm
talking
getting
about? It was
hungry.
fucking. It was. Fuck, man. It was so.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
What are we doing?
I
What are we
don't
doing
know.
Who goes to Europe and gives it an honest shot, ends up going, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And then the people who don't even want to give it an honest shot, they're always like, you know, the train wasn't that bad. Like, bitch, tell the truth. It blew your fucking mind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was a cool thing. I took him. When we went down south, we took a bullet train. So Bobby had never been on a bullet train before. So
I've
we're
never been
going
on a bullet.
200,
Yeah, I
200
know.
goddamn miles an hour. Phew, buddy, it was
Man, we
so
ain't got
fast.
shit, man.
I know.
We got
We ain't got
shit.
shit.
We got
We
rock
got a-
and roll, and we lost it.
And the concept
did
of
live.
cool, which we also lost. We have become
Yeah.
uncool.
We sold them both. That's what we do. That's what we have. We
Mhm.
have a for sale sign.
It's true. That is
God.
our best. It is our best asset is selling.
That's what we're the best at.
Mm.
And war, but that might end soon.
Yeah.
Well,
Ooh. So 10,
Well-
10 out of 10. Everything was the whole thing was
Awesome.
gravy, and
what was your favorite part?
my favorite part was
One moment, or just anything nice.
I mean, low key, I liked. This is gonna sound so fucked up. I didn't mind the time with nothing. I mean, I'm already
Yeah.
there. I'm already there, so it's not like I was on my phone anyways. But to
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
everybody out, and everybody was just out in nature. Everybody
Yeah.
was walking their dogs. Everybody was conversing with each other. It was like such a beautiful
Yeah.
moment that humanity was still achievable.
Carmen says, I wasn't stuck on no train.
That's true. I do feel terrible that I had a great time while there were people stuck on a train. That does
I'm telling
fucking
you, I wouldn't
suck.
have been.
Yeah.
I'd have found a manhole exit with a ladder.
Right?
Are there trains underground, or am I just being
Yeah.
American?
No, they're underground.
I'd have climbed out.
Well, both. There's some underground and there's some that go. The ones that go out to the
Electricity
suburbs.
ain't
definitely
working. The
somebody
trains
like
can't run
in-
over me. I'll run down the track till I see the light.
Think about it. There's definitely somebody like in a tunnel, in an underground tunnel, like
Mm,
just dark.
yes.
Mm.
Right now?
No, not anymore.
Damn.
The lights are back on.
Oh, I thought he
Then.
meant like they got stuck, like they'd pulled a Drew and it never made it.
If you can keep walking, you'll get to the light.
Hola. Hola.
But yeah, I couldn't. The situation could have not been more prime, because people I could hear people talking about what the fuck's gonna happen, da, 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 da. And me and Bobby are like, man, it is fucking gorgeous out. What a beautiful day for the worst thing that could have happened.
Does Bobby speak Spanish?
Not very well. I mean, he was definitely a lot better by the time we left. So he
so curious what it's like for him to experience that blackout and then everyone be talking about it and expressing themselves emotionally and processing what's happening, and he just has no fucking clue what's going on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, what? There's nothing we could have done, so that's why I was like, okay, well, I guess we're gonna be out.
Part that's scary for most people, Carmen.
Well,
probably a lot scarier for people who had responsibility.
Maybe.
Yeah, or have a refrigerator full of food and shit. Like, there is a loss, Hi, Roscoe.
Come here. Come
Hi, Roscoe.
Ladies and gentlemen, celebrity sighting. Yeah, Roscoe. Hi.
You know any song?
Hi.
Hi.
So he has a mic that makes an echo sound. So he's trying to get it to make the echo sound.
Hi.
Are you eating pepper? Hey, who am I? I'm who I am. Oh, not your teeth.
He's really trying to eat that thing.
Yeah.
You hear them teeth grinding on it?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's some strong ass teeth.
He's got a wet butt. I don't know if you guys can see it.
That's funny. I can't tell.
Did you guys know
You want to say hello?
Dada.
So cute.
God damn it, he's so adorable. Dada.
All right, well, that was cute.
Yeah.
Hi.
That was cute. Hey.
Hi. Oh man, if y'all are not watching on YouTube, you are missing all this action. Yeah.
Hey, there that boy.
Hi.
When I was doing the
So
Ola
tall.
bit and yelling Ola, Rozzy thought I was calling him. I think is why I was kind down there.
He was like, you rang?
I told on you, Rozzy. I told everybody on Well Read, and now I'll tell Gravy Baby you've been doing the Japanese accent.
Uh-oh.
Baru. He's got tomato in his mouth. Right. Oh, he threw it at me. Is that funny?
It's funny.
He's eating the mic. All right, you gotta get him out of here.
Natural.
He's killing it, but there's no end to this.
Yeah.
Love ya.
He's got a learn Japanese book. It's just like individual words, and one of his favorite word for a while was ball. He's Appalachian as shit. He would say ball. It's got like 9 syllables, and then the Japanese word is baru. And he just does the accent, and I don't think we taught it to him. I just think that there's something innate about the way that language comes out, consonant-wise. He's chopping vegetables with every syllable. Baru. And he runs around the kitchen, and there's no way a 19-month-old could be racist, but it is so goddamn funny.
Is he like I bet you it's the way the audio.
It's not audio.
Oh, it's not audio.
I think it's I'm certain it's creeping into us when we read it, but it's also like, okay, the word is you're not gonna say boru, right? You're gonna say baru.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're gonna try to do it, and then just like he's a baby.
Yeah.
He says bow, so he says baru, and like it's in there, dude. Yeah.
That hits for me.
Anyway, sorry.
What was gravy for y'all while I was gone? I mean, besides that's already such a big win.
Oh yeah, you saw most of mine. Oh, he's back. He's got a spatula. He's hitting a dog with it. He ran away. I've been watching Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh shit, old school. Okay.
That show fucking rules, dude.
That show is great.
It's unbelievably good.
I missed a big. There's like seasons of it that I've missed for sure.
Have you ever seen the Burning Man episode?
Definitely not.
There's a bit on there that I think about all the time, which is how you reminded me of it a minute ago. Because I saw it recently. You said, "Get off my lawn."
Mm-hmm.
How, as set up the RV, they went to Burning Man having no idea what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then the burners think he's doing a fully immersed artistic piece as an average American dad. And he's like grilling and they're clapping for him and he's screaming at him, "I'm not kidding. Get the fuck off my lawn." And they're like, his commitment is unbelievable. It is such a great bit.
I love that.
And then also Malcolm fucks a lady who thinks he's of age, and it's like, that's wild.
Yep. Yep. You got to tell me what
Now,
episode
when
is.
she
I
finds
want
out
to
he's
watch
not of
that
age,
one.
She does. Oh, sorry.
No, please. What'd you say?
I was just saying, when she finds out he is of age, she kicks him out and won't see him anymore. But it's still wild.
Mm-hmm. I was just saying, you got to tell me what episode that is because I got to watch that. I had never seen that one.
I watched it in the last few days. I should be able to find it pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
Deej? Good
Yeah,
break.
but oh, buddy, you know everything good. It's great to be back as a trio
It is
and
nice.
be soaking up the good love and like, man, I'm so glad that that still exists. I was so glad you go out there and all this still exists and everything's good.
So glad what still exists. I agree, but I still want to know what I'm agreeing with.
Mm-hmm.
To go and have a wholesome experience and like be able to, because everybody you talk to now is like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, on that note, and I think I brought this up last week. I think I did give it a shout out, but I'll tell Carmen too.
Mm.
Andy and I went to see Rufus Du Sol in Atlanta, and it got a big Airbnb, and our friends met us.
Mm-hmm.
My mom came down, and we got her a different Airbnb, and she watched Rozzy. Man, it wasn't Spain. I definitely would have rather been to Spain, but like, what a great 2 days.
Hell yeah. That's sick.
It was all the just loving on each other. We was
Mhm.
doing.
Of course. Yeah, it's still fun. I guess that's the only thing we didn't do any drugs while we were there. I mean, obviously we smoked weed, but
Yeah, you didn't rack some Molly with Uncle Javier?
no, I didn't.
How old is he?
Oh, they're like in their 50s.
Was it Spanish weed or did you bring your own?
BYO.
What? You flew international with weed?
No, Drew, I would never do that. But the weed there's trash, so you know.
But the dogs can smell weed. I would rather smell
Not a
crack.
pin. They can't do it on the. They can't smell a pin.
Oh, I didn't. Joints. Just joints everywhere.
Well, you've got big old balls, lady.
You got big old purple Kush balls, dude.
Yeah.
I heard a song the other day, no clue who or what it is, and it said, "I smoked Whoopi Goldberg Kush with Whoopi Goldberg." And I was like, fuck, that's the only thing I've ever heard in a rap song I've also done. It's the first time I've related to a rap song. Hell yeah, dude.
You smoked weed with
Other than
Whoopi
the part
Goldberg?
about like being in prison.
Oh yeah. I was like, you smoked weed with Whoopi Goldberg?
Yeah, Whoopi Goldberg came to a well-read show in Brooklyn and then brought her own weed as it was like in the infancy of its development, and then we smoked it, and then she was like, she passed it, and it got back to her, and she goes, "I'm actually a germaphobe, and I have 50 of those. Just keep that." And I had it forever, but I think I lost it in one of my moves.
Dude, that is like one of the coolest things I've ever heard. Like,
It was super fucking cool.
yeah, that's
Here's
fucking
how cool Whoopi
rad.
Goldberg is. The reason Well Read did the View is not because of our PR or whatever. Whoopi Goldberg found the book and was a genuine fan and interested in it and read it and like told us we were geniuses and all this stuff. And then she invited us on The View, and then it snowed some. And she's like, I don't go to work when it snows. And we didn't even get to do The View with Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh,
we did it with the other 3 broads who had no idea who we were.
Oh, man, that's rough.
Awesome. It was so great. It was so great.
They're there like, so, and you're like, God damn it, I wish Whoopi Goldberg was here.
Some of the people listening have heard this story, but I guess, Carmen, you haven't heard it. So that's also the only time in my life as a comedian that when we checked in the hotel, they didn't swipe my card for incidentals.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes, somebody will put you up, but they put your card on file in case you act a fool.
You act a fool, or if there's a bar in the thing, they charge you for whatever you use and stuff. And what would you do,
we had
Drew?
to have a phone call with the publishing company because we were being ridiculous on purpose. We had our friends like Lejeski, DJ does Lejeski, Matt Lejeski, comic from New York. He came over. Him and Corey were opening beers and just throwing them in the bathtub. Not even drinking.
Oh, no. Good heavens.
We bought a bunch of Swede shots. We spent like $3,500.
Oh, my God.
But we paid for it. We ended up paying for it.
Ooh, yeah, I bet you ended up paying for it. I bet they weren't
Did
going
you
to
end
be
up cleaning the bathtub?
We got the bottles out, if that's what you mean. If you mean like, sweet, making sure it wasn't sticky. Nah. That wasn't my hotel room. Give me 3 guesses whose it was.
I don't need 3 guesses.
Anyway, they were like, the guy was like, never in my 20 years in the publishing industry have I ever seen a tab like this. We were such dicks. We didn't like this guy. Anyway, I was like, yeah, that's what's wrong with your industry, dog. Y'all don't employ drunks anymore. That is why you're failing everywhere.
Hell yeah, dude. That's sick.
Yeah. Anyway, I've been watching Malcolm in the Middle a lot, getting a lot out of that.
Yeah, that's a show I would definitely revisit. I remember always liking it anytime it was ever on. I just never sat down and watched it like a show.
Yeah.
And I think it was just because it wasn't that's like the era when I was on the road all the time. And so I think it was just I was never home when it was airing.
Yeah.
But that's what's cool about it now. You can watch whatever you want, whenever you want.
I have 2 good friends, 2 of the people who met us for Rufus, going to Spain in like 2 or 3 weeks. Any recs? Any thoughts?
For what?
They're going to Spain.
Oh,
They're
nice.
going
What part?
I think they're going to Madrid. Might be Barcelona, but I think it's Madrid.
I'm way more team Madrid than Barcelona. And because in Barcelona there's not really all that much aside from Gaudi, the church, and then like the small market. And not only that, but they don't want tourists there right now. Like the Catalonians don't want people visiting there. So it just doesn't.
What do you mean right now? There's something specific?
I mean, that's just most of the graffiti is like, get the fuck out of here, tourists. So it's just like, it just doesn't feel very fun. I mean, Barcelona is beautiful too. It's like, coast. One of the cool parts is if you go up the mountain, you can see the entire. You can see all of Barcelona and the ocean and stuff. Like, that part is cool. But as far as activity goes, I would definitely. There's way more bang for your buck in Madrid, because we also went to David Munoz's restaurant, who's won the best chef in the world 3 years in a row. So real fun, weird food stuff. If you're into that, I highly recommend.
How much was that bill?
Not as bad as you would think. I
know, that's what I'm saying, because
he's got 3 restaurants. The main big one, his big one that is the most fancy, is Diver XO, and that one is like $500 a person.
Right.
And then
that makes sense. If you're the best in the world, I'm okay with that.
Right. But the other ones, I went to his street. He has like Street XO, and he has Ravioso, which is RAVIXO. All of them have XOs at the end. And so we went to because I already went to the street one, which is like, so that was like a play on street food. And I sat at the bar and like get to, so it was cool. You got to see him watch him make it and everything. And me and my cousin went for that the last time I went, and I think we paid like $200 for the both of us, and that was like with cocktails. And it was kind of around the same thing for me and Bobby, and we got like four or five different things and cocktails, and it was still again like 200 and something, $220 with dessert and coffee and shit. Like it was just like, god damn, like every time we got the bill I was like, fuck.
I'm currently so hungry and now also jealous, and it's like I feel nothing but dissatisfaction in the moment right now. Listening to this,
dude,
I'm
I had
so
to come
jealous.
back.
I've been wanting to go to Spain for like a decade.
Oh, well, we'll go together. Let's go together.
Oh my god, shut your mouth, really?
Yeah, I'm not fucking kidding, man. Let's go.
Dude, please, because there's a family there that Andy knows.
Mhm.
They had an exchange student. They lived with them here for a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then her cousin came, and then their family went over there and met them. But then they had like a weird falling out because that girl like kicked my niece Jessie out of her house, and like I think she was having a bipolar episode and stuff. Like it was really weird stuff. So what I'm saying is, I had a family in there, now I don't, so I need one.
Absolutely. I mean, like, I mean, yeah, man. I like to introduce people to things, so I'm on board.
Yeah, man. We were supposed to go the year of the pandemic. Like we have tickets, flights.
Oh, fuck.
And and the other thing too, I was just telling someone this the other day. This is a champagne problem. Everyone, hold on to your horses real quick while Drew complains about a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I had like diamond status back then because I was flying all the time on Delta,
Mm-hmm.
and I picked my yearly reward to be 2 first-class international upgrades,
Mm-hmm.
and I lost that upgrade too. I was gonna like fucking sleep on the way to and back from
Oh
Spain.
yeah, dude, a flatbed. Fuck, man. That
I was
shit
gonna
is...
have 2 things in common with rappers. Fuck. Anyway, I'm so happy for you. I mean, I'm seething with envy, but I'm so happy for you.
Well, just
Yeah,
know
man,
that
that's really awesome.
we will have that experience in the future together. I mean, truly.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait till my fucking son's 5. This little bastard.
We can get
Did
your
you guys
mom.
see how cute he was?
Yes.
I can smell his breath on this mic. I know that's weird, but I like it.
Yeah, man. I was trying to bring produce on the goddamn plane. Are you kidding me? Like, just the tomatoes. Bobby doesn't like tomatoes. As long as I've known him, Bobby does not. Bobby ate so many fucking tomatoes while we were there because it didn't just taste like, he didn't. It didn't just taste like water. It didn't just taste shit like nothing. And yeah, I mean, most of the things we brought back were food related. I brought back 3 huge bottles of olive oil and some bonito, some tuna and some fucking bonito and oil, like, and some ham. I mean, like, it was just mostly, I was like, why can't we just eat like this where we live? Why can't we live in a country where where they want us to have good food? Why?
Dude.
I know why, but because we live in a corrupt society and they want us sick so they can fucking treat us forever. I know it's all part of it. That's why a lot of those fucking healthcare companies have their fingers in food and all that shit. I mean, I get why, but it's so goddamn upsetting when you're like, okay.
I just found out that RFK is trying to like end the Narcan program, and it just made me so fucking disgusted and mad.
True, like I don't even understand why is anybody listening to this junkie? Just like any other junkie, seems like every other like junkie like uncle or whatever, where 1 out of every 30 things he says, you're like, oh yeah, that's true. We probably shouldn't eat all this red dye, and all of this has been already linked to plenty of sure. But then the other 29 things you say are batshit fucking crazy.
That's a great like framing. He's a junkle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't mean to shift it to that. I just was.
No, but it's true. I mean, it's true. Like, that was the whole thing, is I was just like, they're constantly being like, oh, like they know about their own food. They're like, oh shit, the olives are really good this year. You're gonna want to get a bottle of olive oil because the olives because we had a lot of rain. We had a really lush so like they know about this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're not connected with the land. Those settlers are. Those settler colonial. We're not connected to the land at all. We totally. So it's so crazy.
Don't get me wrong. They have plenty of their own revisionist history. Like I made a couple of off-color jokes about, the classic one I've done about the conquistadors raping the Incas and making Mexicans and stuff. And then they were like, wait, it wasn't exactly like that. Yeah. There was an exchange. We brought them this and this and this as well in exchange for, and I was like,
rape.
Non-consensual
pussy.
Yeah.
That's such a funny argument to even make in court. Like, imagine me as a defense lawyer, like, Your Honor, he brought her a pie.
Do you think that was because we were talking about how like the big difference between because like the big difference in like the genocides and the fucking conquering and all that stuff was that like the Spanish and them they actually had the conversation beforehand. You know what I mean? Whereas like the Europeans never, or the America, they never had the conversation until afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, is this okay? So you think that's what they were talking about? Like, listen, man, if we gave, what is the exchange rate of raping and pillaging? Like, what is it? Like,
we got to give them something. We can't just go in there. We're not Vikings. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like they're shitting on other cultures that do it. Jesus Christ.
Okay,
we're not fucking Vikings, but.
I could be wrong, but I think the main reason that happened there is they were putting up a better fight. And the only reason that happened there is they didn't die of diseases, luckily, or however you want to frame it, as rapidly as the natives here. I'm not trying to give anyone positive credit. I'm basically trying to say, like, the Spanish kind of had to have more in exchange because they were like, we can't fucking kill them. We've been trying.
Yeah, I think there's definitely something to be said for that. Obviously, because I was talking to Javier's sister about this, because that's when we started getting into it. It was like there was also supposed to be not an exchange for rape. Obviously, that was just the joke, but an exchange of cultural differences. Like, so from Spain, you would have like silk and all of these spices. Like, oh, that's another. I dropped a boatload of money on fucking actual pimento on paprika. That they got different kinds of paprika over there. Yeah, different kinds, and it tastes goddamn good. It tastes so goddamn good.
I've been talking about paprika all day. This guy asked me what was the best fish fry recipe, and I was like, dog, I'm from Tennessee, not Mississippi, but I'll go find out for you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, speaking of Mississippi, we're probably too late to get into it, but did you guys see Sinners?
No, I haven't yet. I want to.
Okay. Let me
have to go. I got to go help Andy.
I know.
All right.
Well, I adore you both. Thanks for asking me about my trip. I did miss you guys.
That was awesome. You were definitely missed.
If anyone out there didn't enjoy this episode, you're stupid. You're an idiot. You're a dumb-faced idiot.
All right.
DJ, you got a fish fry recipe?
Goddamn, dude, you can't really go wrong with Old Bay. Slice of Old Bay on that bitch.
That's kind of what I think. I think I'm going to tell him, I'll be like, look, dude.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What kind of
fish?
fish?
People might not do this, but anybody I've ever seen down south who can cook swears by either Old Bay or what's the one from Louisiana?
Justin Lewis.
No, you got a long
Slap
name.
your mama.
No, but that one ain't bad. All
Tony
right,
Sacheray is what.
Hey, there he is.
That's what producer Mark does from Smarter Mark. I definitely did not remember that. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Bye,
guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Patreon.com/GravyBabyPod if you want to throw cash at us. What'd you say?
Honestly, I thought we were done recording. I just started talking about post-production issues.
So Gravy Baby, and if you wanna, I'm gonna be in Grand Rapids, Michigan, this weekend.
Hell yeah.
right now, actually. I'll be in Grand Rapids, Michigan right now as you're listening to this. So if you know anybody in Grand Rapids, Michigan, please tell them to come see me at Dr. Grimm's.
Dr. Grins. Me too. I'll be there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going to, but I wish I was. All right. Bye,
Bye,
guys.
y'all.
You could stick a whole ribeye in one of your back pockets. Like,